People have, for the past 2 or 3 episodes, have been asking incessantly, and I don't mean that in a negative way, because I'm very interested in this too, but we just haven't had time to cover it. We're finally going to cover it. About why Chinese PLA troops were in Europe, in Belarus in particular. And I thought, before we go into any speculation about, because this is wild to have Chinese troops all the way in Europe, right, on NATO's doorstep.
Sure.
Like a mile from Poland's border in the EU.
Yeah.
That's pretty unprecedented, right?
Sure.
What if I told you it's not?
Okay.
Because I can answer your question very quickly with this map.
Let's take a look. Should we get out of it?
This is a freedom index of countries around the world.
So China's 9 out of 100.
As are the famous Tibet's 0, by the way.
Okay.
Of course, you can think about that. Russia's 13, Kazakhstan's 23, Uzbekistan 11, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to Europe.
Portugal's 96.
See? We got some free countries
Pretty
over here.
good. Pretty good.
Spain 90, France 89, right? United Kingdom 91,
Sweet.
Germany, Ireland 97, Poland's 80, Norway's 98.
That's pretty good.
Sweden, Finland's 100, right?
Finland's 100?
Finland is the peak country of the world, by the way. Happiness and for political freedom and education.
How's that possible? It's cold there all the time.
Doesn't matter. They figured it out. They've just figured it. You know what they do? They do eat. The average person in Finland drinks like 2 pots of coffee a day. Probably has something to do with it.
Maybe.
They're
like, I'm happy.
Yeah. Like when they stop, it's crippling
Blizzard? Who
depression,
cares? Yeah.
and there's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, for sure.
But when they have coffee, it's fine.
Gotcha.
Cut off Finland's coffee supply, you watch that number drop.
Yep.
Anyway.
I always picture Europeans sitting around in like turtleneck sweaters and, like...
I picture Swedes doing that.
Yeah,
for
very
sure.
possible, yeah.
Shout out to Sweden. Shout out to Finland. Probably my favorite country in the world. Love Finland. Anyway, moving down to Belarus, I want you to notice something.
You don't like their candy, though.
Well, I don't like salmiakki, which we'll cover in Xiaoban Ho.
Yeah, we should.
I want you to notice something. You've just seen all these free countries in Europe.
Yes.
So let's also go to another country called Belarus.
Okay.
Which is also just right below there.
Estonia,
right?
Latvia, Lithuania, 89. Wow.
So
it's even worse than China. China's 9.
I'll show you in a second. Yeah, actually put them next to each other.
Okay.
I've just answered your question. Why are there PLA troops in Europe? Well, that's because Belarus is one of the least free countries in the entire world. It's bottom 5.
Basically a blood brother with China.
It's a blood brother. It's It's a dictatorship that offers its citizens no freedom, right?
Yes.
So of course, when you have top-down leaders that make all the decisions, they don't have to ask for anyone's approval. They'll be like, hell yeah, give me some of that Chinese money.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Exactly.
Especially when they're allied to Russia, who's currently allied with China. Does this not make sense?
Of course it makes sense.
These two countries are absolute dictatorships.
Yes.
And that's not a way to big it up. It's called an absolute dictatorship.
Yes.
Like the dictator makes all the choices, right?
I like how the political rights are -2.
Well, because it just means they've gone down.
Oh, they've gone down.
Yeah.
This is like on a scale of 1
People
to 10
always say
-2.
that, and I'm like, no, it's down from prior.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, 2.
So Belarus actually is 1 point lower than China. It's a proper dictatorship a la North Korea.
Okay.
Right? It's the worst.
Okay, so they've been doing this thing together?
So actually, I just always use my reference point here, just so in case people are like, where's America? 83.
Yeah, which is not the best. We saw Finland as 100%.
Exactly.
And all those other countries are like 89.
Quite a bit of a bigger, more diverse country than Finland.
Yes.
But, it is what it is. We're working on it.
Sure.
We'll figure it out.
Eventually.
83 is not 8 or 9.
Yeah, so this is footage of this like joint thing they were doing?
Yeah, so I saw a lot of coverage of this, and I thought it was great. I've actually linked 2 videos down below from Task and Purpose and Ryan Macbeth that covered this situation very well. One thing I did notice in all the videos, they didn't have any footage of the actual drills from Chinese cell phones. And there was a lot of Chinese people that were there taking cell phone footage of the drill, of the celebration. So I wanted to show this. I scoured the Chinese internet for this.
Okay, let's see what we found. We'll get us out of here.
We don't have to like this. Anyway, this is the streets of Belarus, an absolute dictatorship, with Chinese PLA troops marching along, having a grand old time. Not something out of the ordinary, because there was a lot of hype about this. Do you know what people were saying? Oh, this is unprecedented, like I said in the beginning. It's not. They did this in 2015.
I love this. What is this?
Oh, this is China training Belarus on grenade throwing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to see that again?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
definitely. That I recognize that clip because that is actually from the PLA training. That is PLA training.
Yes. I just want to, so we can see what kind of things they could offer.
Yeah, so this is what China's going to teach Belarus and Belarusian troops.
Belarusians,
Yeah.
Oh, ooh. This is it's called a Butterfingers drill. When you had a little too much greasy hot pot before you threw the grenade.
Yeah, that was a good instructor, by the way. soggy commies traipse through wet roads in an unimpressive show.
This is some of the headlines from the.
Can I just say, why do communist countries always look gray?
Here's the deal. Like Belarus doesn't have pollution. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, of course, but obviously not today. China came and brought its weather with it.
They did. I feel like China showed up, CCP showed up, and they're like, well, let's have some miserable...
We need to make sure they feel at home.
Yes.
So let's just put smoke in the air.
They like popped industry up.
Yes.
So
I like that soggy commies. That's excellent.
It's just the headline, right?
Yeah.
Some women soldiers.
I'm deeply unimpressed and wet, a disappointed onlooker said.
Yes, these are some quotes from the Chinese onlookers that went to go see this in Belarus.
Yes.
I just wanted to get some of those quotes out of the way.
Who is Bella? Chinese visitor.
This is Belarus, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people in China that I met didn't know Belarus wasn't in Russia because, it was in the Soviet Union.
Sure.
Belarus, fun fact, kind of the last bastion of the Soviet Union, more Soviet than Russia. So when Soviet Union fell apart, all these countries became their own thing. Yeah. Belarus is like, no, we're going to stay Soviet. We're going to do that. And China was like, hell yeah, we're going to be brothers. So they've been doing this for a while now. They did this in 2015. This isn't the first time.
Sure.
This is what dictatorships do.
They also like Windows XP backgrounds on their freaking signs up there. Look at those clouds.
They also like carnival lights around it. I love the carnival. Does that not look like a carnival? Like
it does.
You're going to go like roll a ball at a pin and you're going to miss every time because it's cheating.
Yeah.
Kind of like these countries.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, soggy commies getting together is nothing new. It's nothing to be super alarmed about.
Yeah.
This is not something you wouldn't see, right? This is something that has been going on for a long time now.
Yeah.
This is what these countries do to bolster national support for each other. They take each other's money. They have cooperation.
Yeah,
with each other, right?
National pride, all that kind of nonsense.
Pride. This is like an old celebration of authoritarian values. Everyone, come on down.
Let's relive the good old bad old days.
The bad old days when everyone starved in the gulags. Hopefully this partnership doesn't keep lasting. And
I love how
Belarus.
Communist countries love these hats that kind of
that big hats.
Try to make them look taller or something, right?
Yes.
You notice that North Korea's the worst, though. Have you seen North Korea's hats?
Yes.
They're literally like this tall.
They do that in Transnistria as well, which is the other last Soviet bastion near Moldova. They have those massive hats.
Yeah, it's so silly.
I love the hats.
They're trying to make their soldiers look taller.
I suppose. Are they short? I feel like Belarusians can't
No,
be
they're
that
not,
short,
but North Koreans certainly are.
Yeah, but the Chinese soldiers actually look taller than the Belarusian soldiers here.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because they only pick any soldier, any soldier that's going to be in any kind of march or dress thing in China has to reach a certain height.
Yes, you're absolutely.
They have to be a certain type of...
Because it's for propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, props to this.
This is really boring, by the way.
Display. Yeah, I just figured we'd actually show it because I kept watching these news reports about this and I didn't see the actual footage of the thing. Anyway, they've been doing some tank drills and some other stuff. It looked
Tanky drills.
Yeah. It looked like it. But that's what's going on there, and I highly recommend those two YouTube videos I recommend down below.
They're linked in the
They're really
description.
good. They illustrate this.
Yeah, if you want to know more about the situation, go watch those.
I wanted to answer your question very succinctly and easily because basically.
And then also just show like hours of soggy commies.
Soggy, there is something there's a bit of a vibe going on here. It's like a time capsule like 1988 Soviet Union. Doesn't it look like that, but like with modern iPhone?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a bit weird. Like you don't see this often.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to. This drill sergeant looks scary as hell, by the way.
Oh, he's just very tall.
He just looks mean too. He's got that.
Is it just raining on and off, or did you just like mix the footage?
No, I didn't do anything. This is just a
different
video.
Video
from someone's iPhone that I found on like Weibo or something.
Yeah.
But nice. Belarus, China.
Is that a Russian flag?
Brothers out of convenience said, well, who do you think is calling the shots here? It's China and Russia.
Yeah.
Belarus is a pawn in this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This just goes on. And in the background, I'm busy skipping through like hours.
I do love the carnival lights.
Like we'll show that one thing. Okay, here. We'll show your carnival lights. My favorite though is the Windows XP background.
I like that too.
Up in the top, if you look at the.
I mean, this is rare footage because you can't go here. Like it's super hard to get into Belarus. You go there if you sign up for their like visa, and then there's interview process, all that kind of stuff, right? It's hard to go there. So this is kind of interesting to see. This Carnival Light Windows XP.
Sure.
Kami Sagi Kami.
Looks like a pasta, like when you buy like pasta in a box.
It does.
It's like, that.
And they're definitely not known for pasta.
No, it's like, Mama's Italian pasta or something. And that one, just this one, because I can't read it, but the one up there, that literally looks like a pasta box to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It's Kami pasta.
It's Kami
there is
pasta.
a hammer and sickle.
There's a hammer and sickle and a star over there.
It's like rustic, too.
Yes,
which is like when an edgy like college kid is wearing like a Ushanka hat. It'll have that like rustic plastic Chinese communist hammer.
That's it. What, he's just killing them?
He
actually shoots them and you see blood. He's riding them over. It's like... That's just so dumb. Wow, that's pretty bad. Oh boy.
Train me to defeat him.
Like,
you think
what
you
is
have
he
the courage?
wearing? Like a suicide vest?
You're pretty gullible, aren't you?
What the?
When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs.